Frack on, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Frack The Canon. This time, we're going to go back to the 90s again with my fellow boys. Hint, hint of a future episode. We got Tyler Weiss. We got my brother from the mother, CJ McCream. And someone who's never joined us before for the first time in a long time. He was supposed to show up back in like episode 1 or 2, but never did. Mr. Kenny Jasper. How are you doing, good sir?
I am fantastic. And as you can see, I'm very ready to talk Power Rangers.
Yes, so we are talking about Power Rangers this episode. Alrighty, so the reason why I decided to do Power Rangers, I'm like, okay, this show has been on for 28 seasons, and right now, the original Red Ranger, Mr. Jason Scott, is coming back. What were your reactions? What were your thoughts about that? To those of us that still follow Power Rangers. Kenny, let's start with you.
I was stoked. Jason's always been my favorite Ranger for a long time. Mm-hmm. Since season 1, fell in love with costume design. I mean, giant robot dinosaurs is cool, but a red Ranger, I always thought had the coolest suit, coolest helmet design, and then Jason with a lot of leadership qualities, mm-hmm. So I was excited, and that was something that I've always wanted as a fan for a long time. And they've had opportunities over the past few seasons, but to finally see them do it, Hasbro acquiring the license and then doing it, mm-hmm. giving fans what they want, I was incredibly excited. Could not wait to watch the episode.
Thoughts of Tyler, CJ, have you guys watched it? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I mean, I know what you're talking about. I guess I can respect the gravity of the news that Jason is coming back. As somebody who watched Power Rangers when I was a kid, I didn't watch much beyond. I think I really only actually watched like the Mighty Morphin era of Power Rangers, and had like a passive knowledge of it go moving forward. But
until he met me and then forced it down your throat.
You did force it down my throat. Yes, there are Power Rangers within me. Some knowledge of Power Rangers that I gained through osmosis. But no, I mean, this is like one of those cases where it's like I'm happy for those who are happy about it, kind of a thing. You know what I mean? Like this is some cool news. You know what I mean? Like for people who are into it, I can respect that. You know?
Yeah, and I'm with CJ too. I was a big Mighty Morphin fan, and was pretty casual as a fan. Following that, I don't think I watched a full season after the original cast disbanded. But I did see some of the episodes where a lot of the old Rangers came back, and I never really understood why Jason David Frank was like the original Green and White Ranger. I don't know why he became like the go-to like returning leader guy, because he was the one who betrayed everyone in the first place. How is he become like the super respected leader guy? And I've always wondered why Jason never came back. So now we're here. I'm happy it's finally happening.
No, yeah, I used to like my favorite Power Ranger was Billy, because blue my favorite color. But I liked Jason up until a certain point when he came back in Dino Thunder.
Dino Thunder, power up!
Because he would come, I guess he was the leader from Mighty Morphin up to Turbo, and then I stopped watching after In Space because that's
Tommy?
Tommy, yeah. Tommy was red from Zeo and Turbo, but he was always the leader.
Yeah.
And then he came back for the Forever Red.
Yeah.
Which was, I'm like, all right, cool, Tommy's back, and and every Red Ranger there was like, oh, like Jason's like, I trained him, blah blah blah, and JJ's like, oh yeah, I replaced him, and then Dino Thunder, he came back. I'm like, that's kind of cool, like bringing back the OG. But I'm like, but then personally, I'm like, all right, let's give someone else a chance, please. There's other Mighty Morphin Rangers besides Jason David Frank. And no offense to him or Tommy, but I'm like, mix it up, please. Like, let me see Billy, let me see Adam, let me see Johnny Young Bush. You know?
Yeah, there's 150 different Power Rangers, and everybody has, well over, and everybody has their favorite. Tommy's always been like a long fan favorite for everybody. But when you're doing these like in Megaforce and Super Megaforce, they bring him back, and he was back in Dino Thunder, and then he's back in Ninja Steel, and it's
right.
like pull somebody else, you know, like seeing Jason Font in Ninja Steel. I would have liked to see more of that. Like give any of the other Rangers like a chance, and Jason was always one of the weird ones because, or Austin St. John was always one of the weird ones because after Forever Red, he was kind of done with Power Rangers.
That's
but
right.
when the Power Morphicon started, the con circuit started, fans, he kept hearing from fans, you know, we want you back, like please come back to the show. And I think it's one of those like weird instances where everything just kind of worked perfectly with the fan base, with Hasbro taking over the license, and then him really wanting to like come back into it. And I know there's some like speculation that the next season's coming out, Dino Fury is like gonna pay a lot of homage to the original Rangers.
Mighty Morphin?
That's like some of the rumors floating around online right now. But it's, if they do that, that'd be really, really cool.
Thoughts, Tyler, CJ?
I mean, as far as what the future of Power Rangers goes,
Or just that of Jason being, Jason David Frank, aka Tommy, being brought back to the franchise over and over again.
I agree. He brings someone else back.
yeah, I guess that'd be my sentiment too. But you know, at the same time, it's like, I guess, you know, the realism of casting or whatever, you know what I mean? I don't know what that's like, what the politics are behind their relationships or whatever. Like, there's got to be a reason that it was just Tommy and not anyone else, you know what I mean? Like, behind the scenes, that's not just like story related or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, because otherwise, why wouldn't they have been back, you know?
Good point. Touche.
Didn't Kimberly from the original cast come back for a cameo?
She came back for a cameo in the new movie, and in Power Rangers Turbo movie, but she hasn't been in the actual show back. And I don't know, can you remember? Let me know if I'm wrong, but I think she says like she feels uncomfortable going to Power Morphicon because of the fans or something about anxiety. Like
I forget what it was. I remember like when she started becoming like big on social media in the last few years, she was saying something like she wouldn't do it because she never felt comfortable, like some of the fans. But I know that she's embraced the Power Rangers thing since. Like one of the things she did for her movie that she filmed, she like dressed up in the Pink Ranger costume on the street. So like
that rubs me the wrong way a little bit. I'm like, she'll take the Power Rangers fans the money to do feel stuff, but she won't go hang out with them. I mean, obviously, but and that's,
I get it.
Yeah.
The last Power Morphicon I went to was 2016, and one of the actresses there, I think it was Melody Perkins, who plays Astronema and then becomes the Pink Ranger. She was afraid to like put on the Astronema costume because I guess like somebody had like made comments online about the way she looks and something like that. So like, but I think every fan or every like, you know, thing has that fan base that's kind of toxic, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Power Rangers fandom is very toxic. It's I'm like, at the end it's a kid's show that I love as a 34-year-old, as you can see by my many props.
Well, it baffles me because it's a show with 5 multicultural teenagers wearing different color suits with attitude and like working together to like overcome their differences like internally, like to defeat evil. Like you would think that the big takeaway would be like, we're all people, like let's all work together to achieve the greater good or the greater goal.
You would think, Kenny, but common sense ain't so common. Alrighty. So covering that, Jason is back. Jason is back to Beast Morphers. What are your favorite seasons of Power Rangers? Besides or what is it, Mighty Morphin, or did you watch anything else besides Mighty Morphin? I know Kenny and I can go into deep talks, but what about Tyler, CJ? Any besides Mighty Morphin, or does Mighty Morphin was just your touchstone for Power Rangers?
So Mighty Morphin was the whole, like I said earlier, like the only season I watched all the way through. Probably because I was young and had the Saturday morning free to watch it, and was really invested in the characters. And then when it changed to the original cast changed to a new group of people, I wasn't as invested, and that sort of detracted from my desire to watch new seasons. But my favorite, what I've seen of like the highest quality, what I enjoyed the most is probably the Time Patrol.
Time Force.
Uh,
That's a good.
yeah, the Time Force, yeah. And I felt like that was really cool show and a great concept. And honestly, having this conversation now makes me want to probably watch more of it.
Time Force is loved in the franchise by the fandom. It's very loved. I'm not a fan of Time Force because it's pretty much a copy of the Japanese version.
But
Black
that's,
Ranger. What's up?
Yeah, it's okay.
but it's okay. It's
But
fine.
it's okay. I hate it though. That's why I hated Samurai because it's a copy of Shurikenger.
At least it's a good knockoff.
Touche. It is a great knockoff compared to future knockoffs of future seasons. Alrighty, CJ, yourself. Any besides Mighty Morphin or anything that I made you watch?
Yeah, I you know, because I grew up watching, like Tyler, grew up watching the Mighty Morphin. Grew up as that Saturday cartoon kid, which is where I got a lot of my Power Rangers exposure, or what have you. But I liked Mighty Morphin when I was that age, but they kept me a little bit longer because like I've always had a freaking huge fascination with ninjas. And so like the very next thing that they changed into after Mighty Morphin was like ninjas or ninja zords, and they had like, I always thought it was cool because like now they had two transformations, right? Like they had like first they were the kids, then they transform into like just ninja clothes.
Ninja Ranger power now! Pink Ranger power!
You know what I mean? Like
I love that season.
they
That's
were,
a good
like
season.
fighting, and then they transformed into like freaking like actual Power Rangers or whatever. Which I was like, what? Like, go back to the ninja thing. Like, just stay ninjas or whatever. Because I'm a ninja freaking file. But anyway, so I would say, I guess if there was a favorite season, that I would have, and it's strictly because it was just ninja themed. Like that's it. Like, just because it was ninja themed. The whole ninja, I don't even think it was it even named different?
No, it was just Mighty Morphin, but
Mighty
then
Morphin.
It was
but they were
3 Mighty Morphin season
3.
after the movie came out, which didn't have canon to do with the show and how they got the powers. The show did their own thing, but
One thing you can have Power Rangers, they never follow continuity or canon. Just like frack it. There you go. Into the morphine grid you go.
out the way.
The X-Men movies.
This is true. All right, Kenny, what's your favorite season of Power Rangers?
Well, to go off CJ, Ninjas, but it's not season 3. It's Ninja Storm.
Yes. I love Ninja Storm.
Disney's first run at Power Rangers. A little campy at times, but it had like that just feel of like fun. The casting, like they got along really well. The suits are awesome. Like one of my favorite suits is the Crimson Thunder, which I have
But you have your helmet. If you don't mind, do you mind showing us the helmet? There you go. There it is. Crimson Thunder in its glory. I think it's beautiful.
This one, and then the Navy, which is the other Crimson brother. Like those are two of my favorite characters. Best costume design in my opinion. And then the show is just a lot of fun. Like they really played into the campiness of it at times, but when it needed to get serious, it got serious.
I love that. So like I said, I love that it was fun. I mean, it made fun of itself, especially when they're like, what was the episode? In the final of the finale of the season, they goes, the evil twins. They're like, but they always beat us, Uncle Luthor. Like, we make them big. When they get the Zords, they destroy them. They make them big again. He goes, I know the formula.
Yeah.
I laughed so hard. Like that is a line from the show. I laughed so hard. And Ninja Storm is a great season.
One of my favorite moments of that entire season is like I think it happens in the first episode. Dustin goes, he like turns to his team and goes, I told you the Power Rangers were real.
That's right, that's episode 1. I was just watching that episode recently. I love Ninja Storm. I have the Red Ranger here too. I'll show you. No, so I have 2 favorite seasons. And the one that blew my mind was I was 12, was In Space. It was when you find out that the main bad guy is the Red Ranger's sister, and then I'm like, wait, that blew my mind. I'm like, hold on,
Yeah.
wait, what? They're siblings, but they hate each other. They're against one another. I love the suits. I love that we at the first time we see a battleizer in Power Rangers lore.
Yeah, that's the first battleizer. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then I even bleached my hair, but I'll insert a picture here. I bleached my hair like Andros. Like I did it twice. I might do it again. I'm thinking about doing it again, one more time. And my other favorite season is RPM. And RPM, CJ, I think I tried to put you to watch that a couple of times. I didn't take. But CJ, it is so dark. It is so not Power Rangers at all.
Yeah.
It's about this one of the mentor of the Power Rangers creates a virus, a Skynet-like virus who goes in and takes everything down and starts attacking the humans. So they have to build a city, a dome city of Corinth. And the Power Rangers are all it's
very like Mad Max in a
yes,
way too.
yes, it is.
Like I remember not liking RPM because I was like, how does this make sense in the canon? And then, like you said earlier, the canon doesn't ever really make sense. And then you convinced me actually to watch. You're like, go back, watch RPM. I think you really like it. Then I watched it and was like, this is awesome. Like,
Yeah.
It's such a different tone. It's so dark. It has its fun moments where it makes fun of itself as well, but at the same time, like the overarching story is like very real, very serious.
Yeah, it's very dark. It's very. You find out that one of the Rangers is a sleeper agent. It was venturing was a sleeper agent who designed to destroy the Power Rangers. Oh my God! It is Renee. Renee has joined the control center. Yeah, Renee's here. Finally. Pink Ranger Renee. So we were just talking about our favorite seasons of Power Rangers. Can I talk about RPM and why we like it so much? What is your favorite season of Power Rangers, Renee?
Of course, Mighty Morphin. Can't go wrong with the classics. Lost Galaxy.
Galaxy. Really?
Yeah.
I hate Lost Galaxy. I hate the theme song of Lost
Really?
Galaxy. I don't like Lost Galaxy.
I thought it was interesting how Power Rangers in Space and Lost Galaxy. I like the tie-in, especially with what they did with Andros' sister.
That's right. I forgot about that.
How she stepped in to become the Pink Ranger. So that was cool for me. And Mystic Force. I think we already talked about that.
I love Mystic Force.
I love Mystic Force as well.
I love it. And Mystic Force, I don't know, gets a lot of hate in the fandom. I don't know why, but I love the fact that they use magic. They have freaking capes. How cool is that? Power Rangers have capes.
Suits are amazing.
They are amazing. I like that. Yeah.
And then one of my favorite things about the Mystic Force season is like the individual power-ups that they get. Like they all do different things. Like Xander's character, like he grows super buff. Or like the Red Ranger gets the boxing gloves.
That's right. Yeah. I interviewed Xander for my documentary. You can watch it here. Here's the link. One of the boxes. All right. So my final question. I'm assuming mostly Renee and CJ are gonna answer this one. But are you guys looking forward to Power Rangers Dino Fury? And if so, like, what do you expect? It's open to all of you, but
you want my honest answer?
Yes, I really do.
I don't know. I've kind of lost faith in the new series. Like I've fallen out of the new series since Megaforce was such a letdown, man. And then I tried to get into Dino Charge and it didn't catch my attention.
Ninja Steel is pretty not bad. I still stick by that. Ninja Steel is pretty not bad.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I have hope, like Hasbro having it. Like Megaforce was rough and Samurai was rough. Like they tried too hard to go back to the old formula.
Yeah.
And, that Mighty Morphin nostalgia to a point where, like, I mean, I know it's a kid's show and I know some kids enjoyed it, and they tried to cater to the older fans, but at like some point you got to kind of like go your own way. Mm-hmm. And so I'm nervous about Dino Fury. Yeah, Dino Fury. Yeah. Because every time it feels like that we're at the bottom of the well. Like, what do we do? Let's go back to what fans loved, which was dinosaurs. So we'll see. But as far as it goes right now, I really only check back in on like the big monumental episodes, like Jason coming back for
Beast Morphers.
Beast Morphers. Yeah.
See, I do go. Well, Tyler can't. CJ, if you want to answer
Oh,
that.
yeah, just really quick. I feel like in some ways Power Rangers, they've been having a big push lately with Jason coming back and the new video game and a whole lot of merch coming out, the new comic book and everything.
Mhm.
And that's awesome. Like with new comic books, especially like there's a lot of new content. But personally, I probably wouldn't come back to watch the show unless like they bring back the original cast and have like them as like hey, wise older people, tell us stories about your youth. That's just that's just me who's like, that's the cast I know, and it is super challenging for them to make like a whole new thing every time. At some point, they have to hang up the helmet. Like, I know it's not going to be soon, but I don't want them to wreck their legacy of like being on for too long.
That's I never thought. That's a great point. I never thought about it like that. Good point. CJ.
I guess the only thing I'd add to that is like, as regarding like the future of Power Rangers or whatever. Like, no, I mean, I'm not gonna watch. I forgot what it's even called already.
Dino Fury.
But yes, I'm not gonna watch that. But like, what I would be, the thing that would bring me into Power Rangers, the thing that brought me back to Power Rangers a year or two ago or a couple years ago, whenever that was the movie. Would be a movie verse. Would be if, like Hasbro has it, would be if they take that and turn that into like a movie series. Like that would be something I'm very much interested in, because it's a franchise that I'm like have a passive interest in. Not enough to watch the series, but like if they have like a movie interpretation of this, I'd totally be down to watch that and any number of movies that they could come out with, coming up with that. Because I did pretty much like the one that just came out.
Yeah.
2017.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2017. Yeah, Power Rangers. I like that one enough to have seen that entire series. Like, I mean, a whole franchise of movies from that.
Yeah, if you did like a two or a three, like absolutely would have been into that, but they just didn't continue it, and now they want to reboot.
I think it underperformed. I'm like, my only complaint with the Power Rangers franchise is that they always go back to Mighty Morphin, where there are people who don't know Mighty Morphin at all, but they're big fans of the other seasons. That's why I'm like, and CJ knows this, and I think Kenny and you and I have had to share the same thought. Renee knows this. I think I told you, Saturday, but I'm like, get off of Mighty Morphin and use the other seasons, like or something like.
Yeah, branch out.
Yeah, that's my only complaint with the franchise, that they always go back to Mighty Morphin. I'm like, stop it, please. But that's okay. Any final thoughts? Go ahead.
I just looked it up. They made 83 million.
That's not a lot. How much did they?
It cost close to 100 million to make, so they lost money.
Yeah, they lost. Yeah, so
is that worldwide or just domestic?
Oh, domestic. So total would be like 150. So they only
just broke even.
Yeah.
So
a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
that Krispy Kreme sponsorship didn't help. Those donuts were terrible. I tried those.
Everyone in the fandom is such an up and over about that. I'm like, why does it matter? Like, everywhere you go, the week comes up. Anywho, alrighty.
They did have one funny ad though, which is like, it was like a 7-second shot of like her and the Krispy Kreme eating the donut, and the Megazord like walks by. And I was like, okay, well that's smart.
No, that was fine.
That's your product placement.
But how much they spent, who knows, just to get that.
Alrighty. Well, again, thank you for joining us. Thank you for having us talking with us about this more phenomenal franchise that is Power Rangers. We'll see you same fracking time, same fracking channel. Frack off.